And now a word from our sponsors.
Hey, good people. Guess what? We, the podcast Living Truthfully, has been nominated for the Bake Awards 2019.
Oh my gosh, did you hear that?
Bake Awards is the Bloggers Association of Kenya's awards, and they award people who are making a difference in the blog space, in the vlog space, and they included a podcast category, and we have been nominated. Yes! Wow! So, what do you do about it? Please go to vote.bakeawards.co.ke vote.bakeawards.co.ke and then find category number 23, which is a podcast category. And you will see our URL, which is anchor.fm/Amani Maranga, and vote on that particular one. Hiyo imeandikwa jina yangu, Amani Maranga, hiyo. That's the one you vote on.
Oh,
yeah. And then, when you're done, make sure you've also gotten the SMS verification for it, because that's how your vote actually counts. Go and vote and show us that we are making a difference in your life. Voting closes on the 30th of May, so we don't have too much time. Go and vote now, and then share. Go Bake Awards, go! Coming up on this episode, have you ever told your dad that you love him?
Never.
Why? What would happen if you called your dad and just told him I wanted to tell you I love you?
I think he'd hung up.
No, do you want to try it? But I'm serious. I want to dare you.
You know, dare me?
Yeah. He's calling.
Hello.
Hey, Dad, how are you?
Good morning, guten tag, konnichiwa, bonjour, niaje, date lokoro. I'm just here wondering how you're doing. How is your morning or afternoon or whatever time it is you're listening to this podcast? Thank you for being here. Thank you that you're always sharing this podcast, and thank you that you're giving us feedback, as you always do. Welcome to Living Truthfully, and my name is Amani Maranga. Now, we are having an interesting conversation about dads, and I'm so grateful for the feedback that you're giving me. I didn't know how important this conversation is until all the things that you're saying to me, and I think in one of these days, we need to start reading out some of the feedback that you're getting on fathers. I'm grateful that I have men willing to come and speak about it. And in studio with me, I have one amazing human being, EMK, Edwin Kinoti. How you doing, sir?
Great, man. I'm great. Excited to be here. Love the work that you're doing, Mamani.
Thanks,
It's
bro.
amazing, man. God continue blessing you, man.
You know, last week I had Sido, Sydney.
Yes.
And we sit in the same soul group.
Yes.
So tell me a bit about yourself. People don't know you here. So who's Edwin Kinoti?
Yeah,
Who's EMK? And let me tell you guys, This guy always has such class. I'm just looking at him right now. The watch, the shoes, magic. He's like a guy walking straight from a GQ magazine, man.
Mani, thanks, man. Thanks. Yes, Edwin Kinoti. I'm a father of 3.
Okay.
Married to a beautiful wife.
She's so hot. Let me just say, I've not told you this. God damn it, man. She's so hot. But her family, I mean, they're beautiful people.
Yes. I love every bit of the blessing that I have. And for me, a lot of the things that I do now are based on what their future will be, and not really only about me, because I've been given a gift. I say my family is a gift. God has given me a gift, and like a small child, when you're given a gift, the way you treasure, the way you take care of it, that's my responsibility.
So you see your family as a gift.
It's a gift. It's a gift.
How long have you been married?
6 years this August.
Okay, well done.
It's been an interesting journey. Has its ups and downs. But at the end of it all, as we've discussed and agreed with my wife time and again, is that we're in the same team. Regardless of whatever turbulence we hit, we just remember we're in the same team. And what would team players on the same team do? And that has really helped us deal and cope with a lot of issues that would come up.
I have such specific questions I want to ask you, but I'll hold them because I also want us to be able to discuss this topic. Papa was a rolling stone. What was your relationship with your dad like growing up? Like what are your good, bad, maybe ugly memories that you remember?
Yeah, so relationship with my dad was a bit, do I call it difficult? I'd say we never really had a relationship.
Oh, wow.
So there was dad, there's us sons. We knew dad, we knew him very well. I think we grew closer to my mom growing up than my dad, you know.
Was it because he wasn't there, he was working, or
so he was there.
He authoritarian?
Yeah, so he was there, authoritarian. I think he also used to spend a lot more time with his friends, you know, back in the day. And, you know, it was I think there was the first generation of guys who were moving to Nairobi. And then, so they were trying to get into these communities.
Yes.
So he spent a lot more time with his friends, hanging out and chilling with them. And then we really never had that bond and connection. So we then spent a lot of time with our mom, and we really grew close to her. That applies for my elder brother and I.
Yes.
For the younger one, though, is I think by that time my old man had toned down a bit. He spent more time now with him. So today they're very close.
What's the age difference between you and your younger brother?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're very close now.
Yeah. Right now they're very close.
Has your relationship with him improved over time as you've become an adult?
Oh yes, it has, and it's been a journey. Journey with a lot of reality checks.
Okay.
I think the first one began just before I got married. And before I got married, my wife, then my fiance, then my girlfriend, we got into this community of guys who were planning to get married.
Yes.
Through one of the programs in church. And what really came out was there were things that I was struggling with, and I came to learn later, which are called father wounds. And
what, if you don't mind sharing, what are those wounds?
So I had a lot of bitterness because I felt there are a lot of things that were not fairly done from my perspective.
Okay.
And one of the worries I had is carrying that anger into my marriage.
So you're
carrying
angry with
bitterness.
your dad.
Exactly.
You're bitter with your dad, and you felt he had not been fair to you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the fear of carrying that into your marriage after I have discovered that I actually have this.
Sorry to take you back there, and I'm doing this because I just want to be able to put a finger on it. What are some of the things you felt your dad was not fair about?
Yeah, so growing up, one of the challenges I had was so when I left home and got independent and doing my own thing, I really struggled with making decisions. And just growing up, because the answer was no to anything. What's your question? So before you even finish or start your question, the answer is no.
From your dad.
Exactly. And the fact that he gave direction to anything and everything. This is how things are going to be done. So by the time I'm stepping out, I can't make decisions.
You're not equipped to make decisions.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I'm struggling with things that I'm doing in life. Some things I was angry about is some of the decisions I made if my father was a bit more involved, then I think processing some of the decisions I made would have probably been much easier. My assumption.
Yes.
The other things are them growing up. They never had the opportunities like we have of going through like marriage preparation.
Yes.
So for them, it was getting to the thick of things, deal with them the way they deal.
As they come.
Exactly. And then the treatment that I used to perceive that he used to give my mom, I still carried all that bitterness in me. And I was very afraid getting into marriage, carrying all these things. And I needed to deal with them.
Wow.
I needed to deal with them.
I say that was your first reality check.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
Second one is I got some band of brothers and I needed us to connect a bit more.
Yes.
And so we went and I joined another community as well.
Yes.
And it was about men discovering about men. For us, for me, it was more to understand what's my role in this society as a man. I don't want to.
Feel free to name the programs because I'm thinking maybe some guys might find them useful. So when your marriage preparation, was it Ndoa?
It was Ndoa. It was actually Ndoa.
The marriage preparation class that's run by Chapel and Nairobi and Mavuno.
Yes.
So the second community you joined
was Man Enough. So got a few band of brothers. I wanted to really get to understand what's my role as a man. What am I supposed to be doing as a man? Because I felt there's something I needed to tackle.
Yes.
Fast forward from the Ndoa program, my wife and I got married, beautiful wedding, and then we have a daughter, 10-year-old daughter. Now I'm like, so where do I start with this?
Obviously there's a gap in that story.
Exactly.
So how do you have a 10-year-old daughter?
Yeah, so when we got married with my wife, she had a daughter.
She had a daughter.
She has a daughter who's our daughter now.
Yes.
A beautiful girl. She's 16 now.
Oh, fantastic.
She's
an father of a teenager.
Yes. She's an amazing girl. She's an amazing girl.
Okay.
I love her to tears. So after going through that process, at least it gave me the basis. It didn't equip me now power to do all that pertains to parenting. So it really equipped me to be able to relate to a daughter. Growing up, we never had a girl in our house. It was only our mom. But now I have a 10-year-old daughter.
Yes.
How do I?
That was quite the jump, man.
Hey, you guy. Yeah, but I thank God. I mean, we developed a very good relationship with our daughter. She's, and I'll digress a bit, then come back. She's gotten to a point where when she really wants to make those life decisions, she'll come. Maybe just decisions. She'll come to me and ask me questions on what she needs to do. And mine is not to give her answers, but to empower her to think on what would be the ideal.
Yes.
What are the consequences of a decision that she'll make?
I want to ask you this question because this is a fundamental question of this series. Are dads important?
Oh yes, they are. As a father, you are your daughter's first love. This is the SI unit of a man that they see or come to interact with. For the son, he's the guy that he can relate with as a man and want to be or to grow to.
You learn masculinity from your dad.
From you draw.
So your dad.
Yeah.
How is your dad important to you?
My dad. Yeah. So I'll relate that to the things that I struggled with. The importance of my father in my life, having the ability to look up to someone and want to be like, or set more of a base of where will be a stepping stone for your life. That perception of that man that God has put in my life, that I look up to, I'll want to do things that he's done or greater than what he's done. You know, I didn't know any other man other than him. I saw them growing up in our hood, their parents and everything else. But there's that man who your father is. There's the fact that regardless of wherever you go, you'll not have any other father. That man, that's the identity that you...
Is there anything you admire about him, about your dad?
One thing I really admire about him is that he's a go-getter. He sets his mind to something, he'll go get it. And I think that's one thing I really took on, that I admire about him.
Did you ever
something else I admire about him is that he's a people's person. People, I just hear the way people love on him because of the things that he has a very big heart.
Yes.
And amazing things. These are things that you learn from other people and you don't get to experience yourself. You're like, who are you talking about? Yeah.
Have you ever wanted to be like your father?
Some aspects of it.
Yes.
Later in life, yes. Earlier, no.
What aspects?
So the aspects of being a people's person. I think when I'd go somewhere within the circles and I'd just introduce myself and they're like, hey, man, you know your old man, the things he's done for us, you know, and seeing the things that he sets his heart to do, his convictions, I mean, he will follow and see them through.
So what do you think your dad has given you?
He's given me, a sense of living and belonging, from the perspective of the issues that I've struggled with, that I came to discover later in life that I was struggling with or dealing with, are probably the gaps that I was hoping he would fill. And then coming to learn that he's not a perfect man. He doesn't know any better. He did what he knows how best. I think in many cases I've blamed things he's done with what I know, yet he never knew any better.
So back to my question, what has he given you? What has your dad given you?
What has he given me? I look into the gaps that I've had. What my dad has given me is feels empty. Feels empty. Actually does feel empty. Maybe I don't understand your question.
No, you do, and I'm looking at your perspective because I'm a lot like you. I've had gaps from my fatherhood experience. Yet I hear some things that I'm like, maybe your dad did do some things right, you know? And sometimes we don't see them. And I'm going out on a limb here. your dad, you've said it. You said your dad gave you discipline. You know, he gave you discipline. He was hard on you. Maybe his methods were tough, but he gave you discipline. Your dad, from what I hear, and you know, we've never had this discussion before. He's given you a name you can stand on. You know, you've said it. You go to places, you say your name, and people are like, your father. He did this for us. He did this for us. It counts for something.
It does.
I'm sure there are doors you can knock today, and because of your dad, you get access.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I don't know how your relationship between your mom and your dad is, but if they're still together, it's given you a family you can look up to.
Indeed. Yeah.
You guys, our folks are not all in the same house, you know?
Yeah.
And I hear this every day. But maybe the reason you fight for your family as hard as you do, and I know you've fought some battles for your family, maybe it's because of your dad.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you've seen the man not give up on his family. You know?
True.
So what has your dad given you?
He's actually given me what you said. I mean, he's actually given me discipline. He's shown me that regardless of the mistakes that you make, you can still bounce back. And I've seen that with him, and even in their relationship with my mom. He's given me a name, like you said. A name, a sense of identity that I can be identified with. He's shown me love in my later years in life, directly to me and to my children, where regardless of whatever situation, he'd be there for you. You know, he's shown me love. He's shown me a man has to take responsibility of the decisions that he makes. And you have to deal with the consequences that come after that. As a man. I've learned from him that marriage is not about love. It's really about commitment. It's really about the work and effort that you put in. They've been married right now for 40 years.
Wow.
Celebrated 40 years last year.
Wow.
You know, it's
not mean feat, man.
You know, 6 years down the line.
You know.
You know, he's actually given quite a bit. He's a man I proudly, say is my dad. You know, nowadays when my wife and I are not available to go pick up our kids from school, because of one commitment or another, because we've committed to be doing that, we call upon him, and he's never turned us down.
Wow.
Yeah, he says it's actually his joy to go pick up his grandkids.
Yeah.
And he loves it, you know. Wow. So I've seen love from him by the way he loves his grandchildren. It's amazing when I look at the things that he's done, man. It's amazing, and these are things I'd wish to do that and more for my children, Yeah.
Have you ever told your dad that you love him?
Never.
Why?
As a Meru man,
I saw that one coming.
These are not words in our vocabulary. We don't have love you. We don't have sorry.
You don't know those words? Just try.
Yeah. I've never done that.
Do you love him?
Yes, I do. And for us, I think men and growing up is, I love you. So if anything changes, I'll let you know. So let's just leave it at.
But I don't know. I don't know if you love me. Do you love me? I don't know.
Yeah. So I love you, my brother. But my dad, for us to get to a conversation, I think we talk more now than we used to.
Yeah.
Before I got married. We talk a lot more right now. We connect a lot more right now.
What would happen if you called your dad and just told him I wanted to tell you I love you?
I think he'd hang up.
Do you want to try it?
He'd be like,
No, do you want to try it? Like, I'm serious. I want to dare you.
You know dare me?
Yeah.
I can do that. Happy to do so.
Just call your dad. You can step out of studio if you want. But I'm happy if you can do if you can do it here. Just call your dad and no other agenda. Just tell him, Dad, I wanted to tell you I love you.
I can do that.
He's calling.
Hello.
Hey Dad, how are you?
Very fine.
Uko mzima?
Kabisa, labda nyinyi.
Tuko wazima, tunashukuru.
Amen.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just calling to tell you that I love you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love you too.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just calling to tell you that.
Asante.
All right, have a good day. Okay.
Amen.
Amen. Bye.
Baraka nyingi.
Asante. All right. Bye-bye.
How does that feel, man?
It's so much joy, so much peace, there's so much freedom, there's so much anxiety, there's so much just feels I don't know if he'll call back to ask, what were you saying?
But he said he loves you.
Yeah, he did. And this is the first time we've actually said that to each other. I think I need to always do, and we need to always do more of that. Yeah.
Does your daughter tell you she loves you?
She does. We say that a lot more in the mornings when I'm dropping her off to school.
Your son?
Yeah, he does. He does. It's that one of, I love you, son. I love you, dad.
I know my thought has been, and this is a process I'm going through now, that we need to be the kind of children to our fathers that we want our children to be to us. Dude, you know, I feel like I should describe to the guys who are listening, Muruki's veins are showing on his face. His eyes are tearing. I feel like that's such a moment, man.
It is.
And bro, I think you're lucky to have your dad.
I'm blessed.
You're lucky to have the relationship you have with your father. And this relationship can be anything you want it to be. You have the opportunity.
Yes.
And I can't wait to hear what this conversations looks like. You know, next week when we meet for our soul group meeting. And,
yes.
You know, maybe if you have the chance to revisit the conversation with your dad, I'd be happy to hear what that looks like.
I know there'll definitely be a follow-up question or a follow-up conversation. And I've never known what has ever held me back to tell him that. But it felt very weird. It's not that he doesn't know or I don't know, but just saying it, it's something else.
Yeah.
It's a really good feeling. And it is. And this is a conversation I can have with my brothers around, just connecting with him, especially my elder bro who, even without having the connection with him, he's abroad. And he doesn't get the opportunity that we have of spending time with him here. I think this is something that he probably needs to do as well, you know. It's amazing. It's a great feeling. Really great feeling.
And thank you for doing it. You're a brave man.
Yeah, put me up to it, man.
You're a brave man. Wow. Dude, a dad's important.
Very. He's an amazing man, and there's a lot of things that we overlook. There's a lot of expectations that we set because of what we know. I think it's just being cognizant of that bit,
yes,
and being able to deal with ourselves. Because if we don't do that, then we get to affect
other people.
And
we get to bleed on the people who didn't cause the pain.
Exactly.
I don't know where you are, you who's listening to this podcast, but I'd like to give you a challenge. We'll call it the Edwin Muruki Kinoti Challenge. The EMK Challenge. Call your dad. Tell him, I love you. Call your dad. Call him right now as you're listening. Tell him, I love you. And then give us feedback. Tell us how that conversation went.
Yeah.
Wow, we're done.
Amazing.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your story.
Really appreciate, man.
Thank you for being part of this process. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Living Truthfully.